And now it's time for From the Cast, always an informative slice from the popular The Drift podcast. And this time, John dives deep into Jaws with a true shark expert.
Here at The Drift, we call him the Shark Doc. Here he is again, Gregg Skomal. Greg, how are you?
Hey, John, it's good to be back. I'm doing great.
Greg, I like to say that you have the coolest state job on the planet, right? You're a marine biologist. You work for the state of Massachusetts. It doesn't get much better than that if you're into fish like you are, right?
Yeah, I mean, arguably, I'll take on anybody else that works in state service in terms of the adventure in my job, the fun, what I get to do. I mean, a lot of people see what I do on TV. What they don't see is the data analysis, the compilation of data, the writing, the grant writing, all the things behind the scenes. But it's still, bar none, I think the best job, in civil service.
What brought you to your love of sharks? Was it a Jaws thing? Because you were just that right age, right?
Yeah, I am at the right age. I saw it in a movie theater, in Fairfield, Connecticut, where I grew up. And that was back in 1975. I already liked sharks. I liked fish. I thought sharks were really cool animals. Jaws definitely impacted me, but not like it did other people. Most people were frightened by the big plastic shark. I thought it was really fascinating. And I was fascinated by the guy who was the marine biologist in the film, played by Richard Dreyfuss. So, at an early age, I decided maybe that would be a really cool job to get.
Well, it is a cool job to get. And not only that, do you do your work with the state and your wonderful work on media and informing the public, you're very much involved with the White Shark Conservancy, right? Let's talk a little bit about that.
Oh, absolutely. The Atlantic White Shark Conservancy is a nonprofit started in 2012 to not only assist with funding our research, but it also has the mission of educating the public about white sharks and trying to enhance public safety regarding white sharks. So my agency, the Division of Marine Fisheries, has a really close working relationship with the Atlantic White Shark Conservancy. It's a really excellent public-private partnership where their scientists work very closely with us. The education department works along with us. And we try to, get not only the information, the research done, but the information out to the general public as quickly as we can. And to do that, of course, they've established the Sharktivity app, which we post data to in almost real time.
So there's an app that we can get on our phone, obviously, it'll pinpoint where sharks are. I mean, to any tagged shark, I would assume, right?
Right. So what it is it's a sightings app. And I want people to use the app more for educational purposes than to really bank on it for public safety. Just because there hasn't been a report, a sighting, a detection of a tagged white shark at any particular beach along the Outer Cape doesn't mean there isn't one there at that moment. Yeah,
you've spent some time chasing shadows, and that'll segue into chatting about your incredible new book. It's a fascinating read. It's Chasing Shadows. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's a book I didn't think I would write until after I retired, but with the urging of a literary agent named Susan Canavan, and with the assistance of a phenomenal writer named Rhett Talbot, I did this much sooner than I thought I would. And it really is about the trajectory of my career, my life, growing up as a kid who wanted to study white sharks, to being able to actually do that while talking about the history of white shark research, what happens when you restore white sharks to an area and they overlap with humans, talking about shark attacks, the complexity of managing species like seals and sharks, all through the eyes of my life. And it includes a number of stories about research on other shark species. And it doesn't read, like a textbook. It reads, I think, more like an adventure, and which my life has been.
Dr. Gregg Skomal, thanks for being with us. Thanks to you and your team. continue to chase shadows because you're doing amazing work. And to get the book, what do we do?
Well, it's sold anywhere books are sold, from local bookstores to online bookstores. So yeah, it is available.
We call him the Shark Doc. Thanks for being our friend. Thanks for joining us, Gregg.
My pleasure, John. Always great to hang out with you.
Remember to follow the Drift Podcast at driftsociably.com and wherever you listen to podcasts.